chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Yo, they said I'm really old news, so I had to flick the switch. Give it to them old school, but I'ma add a little twist. They don't know the struggle, they don't know the work I'm putting in. Should've seen the way she screamed when she let me put it in. I don't wanna break the brick, I don't really like the mix. Yeah, we goodie on my side, my brother's drummers always sticks. Me and Brody robbed the belly, now we got split the lick. And double shots of fucking Henny, now she's splitting on the dick. I'm Irish, I love fighting. The birds love me cause the watch is full of diamonds. I put whining, I'm frontlining. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Yo, I'm Irish, I love fighting. The birds love me cause the watch is full of diamonds. And no stress cause my brother's gonna be shining. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Yo, on my wrist are Audemars, I be shooting for the stars. Couldn't fit in them incline, told them when you bigger cars, told them when you bigger whips. My boys are more bits, Brody ain't an instrumentalist, but you got drum kits.
Yeah, the front obviously still happening, and the plants need to go in the front, and all the driveway needs to get sealed off, and the undefeated medic and logo. And then this is the cafe bar, or the pump bar that's getting built out. Yeah, so it won't be a full-scale resto or anything, but we'll do like pre-workouts, intras, cream rice bowls, all your shakes and that. Then in the back, we've just started building out the sofa benches. So this will be like knife boost setup.
Where we can lie down on its prep.
Exactly. Gonna have a big plasma on the wall there, so we'll run some bodybuilding shows or some sport. I think it'd be cool, like when UFC's on, have a meet up down there on a Sunday morning and you watch that. Or if the big show's on.
That's the thing with everything. Like you're the same mindset as me. Is like elite sport. I just love what we do. I just love anything elite. I'm like,
you love this vibe then, because that was what my real feeling that what Bali was missing is like something that made you feel like a high level athlete. They do wellness really well. There's a million fucking wellness spots, but in terms of like high level performance stuff, I'm sure you've seen like NFL facilities, NBA facilities, UFC Performance Institute. It's just nothing like that exists. Because a couple of years ago, man, when pros would come out here, I'd show them the gyms, like I'd show them like, they'd be like, yeah, what else? Like this can't be what you hide, like where are the other spots? I'm like, this is like what we got. I think if we can build a good home, like my dream is to have a facility where like you're cool to hang out all day. Because I mean, we're pro athletes, and in any other sport, you go to the facility at 9 a.m. and you kind of hang out there all day. You do your recovery, you get your meals, you do your training. And I've always wanted to live as a pro athlete, but the facility to be there, it just isn't.
And I think like ours is very like solo sport, so we're always on our own because it's hard to find people the same mindset. Like back in the UK, like I'm the only pro around me, so then it's like okay, just sit on my own all day and do nothing, and it's like very isolating. So then when you're around other people, energy's transferable.
I think that's why pro sport do it so much better than pro bodybuilding does, because they have those outlets and those environments where you can come together, hang out for the day, recover together, eat together, And bodybuilding, for whatever reason, it's just been so stigmatized as like you have to lock yourself in a box.
Dorian style.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think it needs to be that way, and I actually think like if you can leverage the team aspect, we'll be way better bodybuilders because of that. So I'll show you a little bit of a look, and then we'll get into it. I thought we were going to have full power today, but we're not, so it's going to be a little bit of a hot session for us. Still a little bit to go to the lockers, but going to have it, nice sort of American college style with all the numbers on the lockers and everything. Still got some LEDs and lighting to install there. Then this will be our recovery center, which still has a bit of like the design aspect, but steam in there, big sauna. You can see the difference in the quality compared to a lot of the other.
It's literally a different level.
Yeah. Then we've got a little bit on the recovery here. There's rules, bit of the science.
We have this at 11 line. Again, it's just a mindset thing.
Yeah.
It's literally just affirmations. So it reminds you of like, okay, why
we're here, why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing.
People don't understand that though.
Yeah.
It's like some people go to the gym and some people train. And it's a completely different mindset.
Yeah, someone's kicking a box and someone's actually trying to make themselves better athletes. So So this will be the cold ice bath. Still a little bit to go there, but that'll be TV on the wall.
There's
here as well.
I'm not watching no TV while I do that.
Well, that's why I did the hot bath. Yeah.
Put the hot bath on, I'll be fucking sweet, but no bath like that.
The TV was trying to get us to stay in the ice bath, but I think there's gonna be a lot more people hanging out this one, fucking jacuzzi.
Yeah. TV and jacuzzi, I'm not having there, bro. Ice bath, yeah. Ambitious with the TV after.
We've got a nice view. This will be the decking area. So I wanted to do a big pool. So if you are an athlete that wants to swim, you can do that because I mean personally, I like to swim, and there's just no places around January where you can do laps. Yeah, I'm out with the ball fuckers trying to do laps in there.
This view is nice as well, though.
Yeah, it'll be beautiful, and the sunset just beautiful over the rice paddies there. So this place, like 5, 6, 7 p.m. will just be elite. We'll have all the deck chairs, the umbrellas, bean bags. In the morning, I'll leave the pool open so people can do laps, but then I think maybe like 10, 11, I'll put some like inflatables so people can
just chill,
lounge and tan and stuff like that. So these will all be filled with plants, so it'll be like plants, black, flax, so it'll look a lot more livelier here once that's done.
But that view there's
That's elite.
Yeah.
I've told the landowner, I said, you don't sell that land until you explain it to me. You know, in the driving team, it's just businessmen. Yeah. They're not, I mean, I know all the owners of the gyms here, and none of them are like hardcore gym rats or pro athletes or high level athletes. So when they're thinking about doing a gym or a business, the main thing they really care about is how much money can they make. You know, how can I get the most members? Where for me, my priorities are flipped, and I'm thinking, how can I actually make the most badass facility? If we can make some money along the way, that's a bonus. But number one priority is just make it fucking awesome.
Like, there's a mindset, because every sort of athlete that is the top of the game, they all correlate with the same mindset. That's the only thing they have in common.
Like my dream was to build a place that, like, when you walk in, you just instantaneously want to level up. Yeah. Like it's kind of like, I guess, like when Michael Jordan released his shoes, like the deal with Nike, it's like people weren't so much concerned with like what the shoe looks like or the function, but when they put those shoes on, you know, something turned on inside. You know, it's like I think you can do that same thing with a facility. So yeah, we got the push section here. All the dumbbells. I'm keeping it pretty light on the cardio because I think there's so many like cardio heavy gyms around Bali. It's like, what are we missing? Like, we're missing a lifting gym. So I want to, over like the next few months, just try and get as much kit as I can.
One of the kids from Dubai, one of the lads I know, and he's over, and he was like, oh, I went to Obsidian, what do you think? And he was like, oh, the kit. And if you know like good kit, that's all you care about. You know what I mean? You can do stepper anywhere. But whereas like stepper's a stepper, you know what I mean? So we're like, actual Nautilus fucking press is always gonna be a Nautilus press.
Yeah, for real. We'll give you one quick walk around and then we'll get in.
So cool.
So this will be the legs section, obviously a couple of benches there. But this leopard hack squat, horrible, miserable, absolutely miserable.
Glad we're not doing legs.
That leg extension puts you in the hole.
Nice.
Pendulum's good. Belt squat's good. This is Megamass, Sean Clarita's kit.
That's really nice.
We'll use his shoulder press today as well.
The
Megamass.
Has he brought his own out?
Well, he was the first guy to kit out his home gym
facility
with Megamass, and that's what got me looking at it.
Yeah.
And I found the contact, tried out some of his stuff, and man, I don't think you can find a pull down better than this, to be honest.
No, you literally this and this. Like, if you've not got lats after that, you may as well just fucking give up, innit?
I mean, that's been one of my. I reckon I probably trained my first 8 years as a bodybuilder, training back without touching my lats at all.
Just wide to go wide for wide back. Yeah. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't think I ever actually activated my lats. First time on this, I was like, hang on a minute, what am I feeling back here?
Like, oh shit, that's a lat. Yeah, okay.
Didn't know I had one of those. But yeah, obviously this the pool section, the curl is beautiful there.
This is nice as well, isn't it? T-bar.
Yeah.
Really, Jim Lecco, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I just actually changed the after the sliding better. Because you just put the zinc on the black.
Yeah, and
it just pops real nice.
And you just feel back as well.
The problem with a lot of posing rooms is they only do lights at the top, and so you get the goon lighting, you know, which can look okay for IG, but if you actually care about assessing your physique, you want a light that's coming forward as well.
And the thing is as well is like the posing room is for the check-ins. So it's like we can keep the same lighting.
Yeah, still got a couple of pieces to come that are like in various spots on containers and things, but it's more than enough to have a good session now.
Yeah, it's
I think in a few months' time we'll have by far the best equipped gym in Bali.
Yeah, you can see already. Like even now, like people who don't know kit won't understand, but then now I'm like, and that press is so. Is that heavy? That second press, the incline.
Oh yeah,
heavy. Yeah, it's nice.
The flex leverage.
Yeah, flex leverage. You just got it in ours back home.
It's fucking good, man. Like
20
like the fucked. Like I love, but the man, so shit. Like I can't get my chest going at all.
It doesn't converge. It just literally like you're like, because I'm quite narrow, so it's like I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel normal to me. Like
my shoulders jacked up. Takes me 4 sets to get a pump. Like 1 set on this or this, and like chest is blown.
This is where you think about like people with us who are like, I don't know if you're a lower volume trainer, but I'm lower volume. Like I'm like, I'll just get in and fucking hit hard. But if you've not got the right kit, you can't hit it hard. It takes you 4 or 5 sets, and you're like, fuck. Yeah, you literally,
Because it's just like, it's just not right.
This is nice as well.
Yeah, we'll play with these ones today because I reckon they're fucking nice. As you can see, still a couple little upgrades going on in Undefeated, but I'm happy to say these are minor finishing touches now. So I'm sure the builders and the workers would like to go home and say, job done, but I want it to be 100% perfect. You know, you can even see that guy, I'm getting them to go around and just make sure all the painting is perfect on every single arrow light. You know, it's the polish, and you know, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't notice. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't care, but I'm all about just doing this absolutely the best I can. So not sparing any expense, not trying to rush anything. Can't rush greatness, and I want to build something great here. So doing everything I can to make it as best as possible. But for now, we've still got bodybuilding duties. We've got pro shows to win. We're gonna learn some things from Ryan here today. We're gonna grow some pecs.
Yo, all of my steppers are playing with snow. We got the Cali, the pats to blow. I've been taking my shooters en route to the show. I remember the days I produced on my phone. Fucking uni, fucking student loan. I'm making money, now I'm grown. I put my girl in Italian clothes, Bonnie and Clement, she carries.
With your warm-ups, do you do what I do, like 6, 4?
For the first movement, usually I'll do something around 8, then something around 5 or 6. And then usually I'll just maybe touch for like a couple reps, something close to working. And if it feels all good, then I'll work on that.
Escape from the scene, but we smell like bud. Bro, granddad's gone with an olden slug. Back to one that pull that plug. When I leave my house, I'm risking blood.
Then we'll just put one plate on. So that's like 2.5. And then we should be able to work with it.
Go. So what, you gonna go 2 and 10?
Well, it's one loading horn, which is nice, so we can just put one plate on. Sick. That's what I like about it. When did you last compete?
2023. So
What show was that?
I did the Alicante, the Pro Alicante, but reality of it is like now I need more size. So I think like about 7 pounds, because they increased the weight cap in between, but it's just more posterior for me. Like from the front, not done, but pretty much done, and side shots are pretty much done, but it's just hitting that glute, ham tie-in, back thickness. Because of the width of me, quite narrow, so like on a side shots I look dense, but then you know when you open up and hit that back shot, it's just got to be gnarly.
The backsides on like a lot of the top classic guys are just so nuts now. You know, like the Yodas and stuff like that. It's just like
guys are coming from open sometimes and then pulling down into classic, so they're just fucking huge. But the thing is, what I found is not all very classic. It's just coming to a point where it's like the most muscle and the most shredded again.
the most muscle they can fit in the
Yeah. and then, so when you look at like classic, like Rough, Logan, like that's classic to me. So then I find where the European shows, it's like they don't really reward classic, they just reward, he can pull a vacuum, he's big, shredded, okay, he's classic. So I'm gonna head over to different shows like America, because I think they reward classic a lot more. So that's the plan. But maybe like September time.
September this year show?
Yeah.
We might be in prep together then.
Oh, that's it.
That'd be mad.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, and haven't confirmed anything because I need to really change my proportions before I compete again. Like I need much bigger chest, I need much bigger lats because my waistline isn't naturally narrow, and it's not going to go smaller. So the only thing that I can do is to give the illusion that it's smaller by, you know, getting more width. So that's my focus for the next 16 weeks, is just to go full on and trying to build as much chest, lats and shoulders as I can. And then if the growth can go well, which I think it is purely just from the kit leveling up and my training, even on TRT, you know, things, I can feel like there's growth happening already just from better kit that can activate the muscle better. Yeah, for real. Yeah, so I think having good kit to train on all year is going to make a massive difference. But I'll see where I get to in 16 weeks, and then I was looking at maybe Prague.
Yeah.
And then I think 2 weeks after that is Romania, and then 2 weeks after that there's another European one, I think Spain. A 6-week block with 3 shows that are pretty close together, so considering that. And then I'd also love to go back and do the Taiwan Pro, which was just sick.
Really good show.
Just a sick show.
Yeah.
The athletes are super helpful, the promoters super helpful. They just treat you like a pro athlete, which from what I've heard, like a lot of the shows in America, they just don't give a shit about you, you know? It's like in and out, like fuck off kind of thing.
I'm spending money, I'm made on my own. If you ask, I've done it, I really don't know. Smoking, I'm faded, they tell me I'm rated, but never.
To be like an experience and feel like a pro athlete and get first, well, not even first call, I'll begin like top 3s. Yeah. That's what you want. And
yeah, like my goal was in my first show to get a first call out in a pro show. And I got that, but now it's like, now the goalposts have to shift, you know?
It's just a mafia, linking up in traffic with a drug trafficker, mashing the car, cause a massacre. Don't make me cause a scene. Rude boy, I clap you in your feet. Get away, clean. Long time where you been. I've been trying to find a machine. Everything ain't really what it seems. Don't make me cause a scene. Rude boy, I clap you in your feet.
Let's go.
Get
Drive.
away, clean. Long time where you been. I've been trying to find a machine. Everything ain't really what it seems. Juju J in your face, touching my waist. Spray up the place and spray again just in case.
Way heavier than expected.
Feel heavy that. I'm looking at that now thinking, fuck.
Had to divert, I rub and I jerk, I camp and I lurk. Linked up with the turks, get milk from the murk. If I reach in my pouch, I'm on dirt. These last words were ouch, that hurts. You can't relate, I'm talking poor day bait. One man escaped, then we black was made. Straight, all the bread I had to
Olympians come out of their way to like introduce themselves to me, and like when you've got like guys that you've been following for like years and like idolizing coming up and like introducing themselves to you, just calm the nerves like immediately, because then I was like, okay, like, because I saw them and I was like kind of on defense, like when I first walked in the room, like fuck, there's Olympian. Once you got talking to them, I was like, they're actually chill, like they're here to compete, but they're not here to kill.
In the Europeans, it's completely different.
Yeah, like I didn't feel like there was any ego, so I was like, okay, like we're not going out to box each other.
Yeah.
So just like focus on myself, like get that peak right, stress less. Enjoy it, just perform and enjoy.
Whereas in the Europeans, it's completely different. Everybody's walking around like chest up high, fucking get out of my way, sort of ego. And it does, like, I don't normally get rattled, but it does kind of begin this, like, oh, like...
It would 100% rattle me being like a new pro, you know?
Probably the reason they do it, but like I say, I just needed a coach to be like, fuck all them. Like, we're here to fucking win.
Don't make me cause a scene.
Take that.
Rude boy, I clap you in your bean. Straight. Get
Stay
away,
in.
time where you been. I've been trying to find a machine. Everything ain't really what it seems. Don't make me cause a scene.
Beautiful.
Had to wrestle that one. I'll tell you to stay in the clinch.
Yeah, literally.
Don't tap, don't tap. What triggered the decision to move to Bali and stay for a bit?
To be...
You're trying it a couple of times.
I've been a few times.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm big on energy. So I find like, it's a lot calmer, like I can lock in. So where back home you're pulled here, there and everywhere. Whereas here I'm a little bit more isolated, where I can just focus on what I need to do. Whereas like back home there'll be people like, oh, should we do this? Or can we go and train? Or can you come to this event? Or, and so on. And then just the quality of life. Just a different sunshine, you know yourself, sunshine, like the food, everything is here that I need. And back home there's way more distractions. So
funny you say that, like I didn't plan for it to turn out this way, but when I moved to Bali, I was exactly like you. Like I was kind of isolated and I didn't really know anyone. I didn't have friends, so I didn't have people asking me to do stuff. So I had like heaps of time by myself. And then that's what was the spark, you know, to get me thinking about businesses and starting new projects to fill my time. And
you need to become out. So I find like we've got an emotional attachment to our habits back home. So everything you do on a daily basis back in the UK, there was an emotional attachment to it. Whereas here's a fresh start. Yeah. So every habit I do here is a choke, like it's not really a habit, it's a new sort of thing that I'm doing. So I'm like, oh, and then I've got the headspace to think bigger, rather than just being boxed in and doing what I've always done. So there's a lot more possibilities here.
I think yeah, like I'd imagine Australia is pretty similar in the UK. It's like the large majority of people are just kind of living the same lives. You know, it's that like try and get a degree, get a job, work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, party on the weekend, like get enough to put a deposit on the house, get married, get a baby, get a car in the garage and kind of just like pay off your debt for 40 years.
What I've found as well is like your expectations of life and your life, if they marry up, then you're happy. But my expectations of life wasn't that. But then it was like the social norm was being put, you were pulling constantly. When are you gonna get a mortgage? When are you gonna settle down? When are you gonna stop chasing this bodybuilding dream on? And like, why you not got a house and 2 kids and so on? And I was always like pulled and pulled, and I thought, I need to be around people who don't have that mindset.
I think that was my expectation of how life was supposed to be as well until I came out here.
Yeah.
I was like, why are people working on their computers? Like, why is this cafe full of people working on their computers 10 a.m. on Tuesday? Like, what is this? And that just opened myself up to a different template of life. I was like, okay, if they're doing it, I can do it. So I think sometimes, you know, you can't know what you don't know. And sometimes you need to get pulled out of the matrix, you know, a little bit to see what's going on.
Before, like when you surround yourself with like-minded people who are like higher agency and think differently, you're like, oh, like even just come to this facility tomorrow, I'm like, this is possible. Like it reframes what's possible. Whereas home is like you say, get a job and settle down and so on. It's like, you're not around anybody with a bigger mindset. That's good. A growth mindset. Let's go, bro. It takes people like ourselves to do it.
Yeah.
And people just think we're crazy. And then eventually they do it. Jackson will have had the same, like, he was like, I'm gonna be a pro bodybuilder after my first show, and people laughed. And then he was like, okay, then I won a national title, and then it's like, okay, and then I started getting thirds in overalls, and then it's eventually you get a pro card. And now it shows the younger generation that if I can do it, then anybody else can. Nice, bro.
Oh, it's such a nice machine. I think that's where the drive for people to make these sort of comments comes from, because I think by them telling me that I'm shit and that I'll never be a pro, and I'll never be out, that I'll be dead last at a pro show, I think it makes them feel better about potentially quitting or giving up or not giving their all on their dreams, letting them go. So it's in a weird way, it sort of rationalize it in their head so they can go to sleep at night.
What I find as well is though, like, people back home will say this because they started in the same position you did. But like you didn't start you started in my position, you're doing it, and I believe that you can do it, and you believe that I can do it. It's because we started in different points. So they're going like, if he actually does this, make it. He did start in my town, and I've done fuck all with my life. No, they don't themselves.
You know, they'd rather attack me.
Oh yeah, but you look.
Yeah, it was an easy show. Or you know, they'll pull anything they can out of the bag to make.
And if that makes you feel bad, fine.
They'll do anything other than admit that they had the exact same opportunities than I did, but chose to fucking waste it.
Talking dollar with my goal, yeah. We gon' run around the globe, yeah. You gon' want that shit from home, yeah. Kawasaki on the road, yeah.
Take him. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. One more.
Nigga wanna see me fall. Stephen Curry, how I ball.
Right. Everything.
Go should go,
Everything. Come on, finish it. Finish it. Finish it.
My girl about a 10. I should fuck her in the Benz. Niggas say they run my hometown. I don't know how I'm a prince of the land. All we talk about is cash, rack, bills, stacks. I'm in love with my fuck shit. Oh my
If you're thinking about competing in September, how much more?
I've got to start prep in June.
Okay.
Yeah, so probably like 16 weeks.
Yeah.
The only thing, like I say, I find here is just finding my feet with the food.
Yeah.
Just getting my feet, and then yeah, everything else will just come into play, getting my routine set. I've been here like, what, 10 days now? So once I get that routine set, and then I'll just keep
Takes
it.
a little bit.
Yeah, it takes just a little bit with jet lag, a little bit of time difference.
What's the system though?
Yeah, and the same thing I had with you is like a little bit opposite. People, because I've been here a few times, people know me. So not people know if I can, but you know, like, oh, do you want to go and do this? Or do you want to, like, I'm here to bodybuild. I'm here to work. So, like, I'm like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, you got to be a bit of a no man, unfortunately. That was at least my personal experience, because otherwise, like, when you do say to the day club here, say yes to the day club here, and yes to the dinner out there, like, there becomes an expectation that you'll always join, and so you almost get like caught in this net where it's like hard to get out of. And I just found that if I truly wanted to make moves in my business and my bodybuilding, I can't live the whole lot of Bali mode here. You know, it's fine if you're here for a month, but I'm trying to make my roots here, you know, for big fucking trees, you know, get my roots down. So I had to be a bit of a no man, and then, you know, with time it gets easier, because then it's sort of just like, oh, Jackson's like off doing his thing, leave him be, like he's got shit to do.
And that's the thing is, I think over time, like, the more you say no, or the more you just set boundaries, like, and people gather that, and they realize, because they don't know me as the person, so they just know me, oh, Ryan, and come do this, and we'll train this body part, and we'll do this. I'm like, I've just got to lock in.
I found it was harder when I tried to be like on the fringe, saying yes to some things and no to some things, because then it's like, if you don't go, like, then you're a bit of an ass. But then if you do say yes, it's like, then you're sacrificing your own goals. And I just found that when I, like you said, set those boundaries, and people almost became like defending me, where they'd be like, oh, where's Jackson? It's like, oh, like, he's working on some pretty big shit, like leave him be, like, don't bother him too much.
Yeah, that's good though, that's the best way. I think that's as I said before in the video, that's what I came here for. You know what I mean? Because, like, I always say, like, hidden in plain sight, like, nobody can really, if you don't want them to, they can't really contact you, which is great. But again, it's saying, like you're saying, building this facility now, this will be where you'll hang out. This will be your day club.
One thing that I've been like trying to reaffirm to myself is, like, let go of maybe the weak social circle that you have now, because if you build the shit right, that will curate the future circle that you want, because the people that you share mindsets with and share the same opinions and perspectives, they will gravitate towards you via your actions. I was so pissed off after that first prep, where number one, I didn't win, and number two, like, the hate that followed, and then that just became a massive, like, I need to prove you all wrong now, and I need to prove myself right. I need to prove myself that I'm not crazy, and I need to prove to all you guys that you're wrong.
And that it was all worth it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, like, I look at it now, like, my fuel used to be a lot to do with the people who hated me, but it's also now to do with the people that believe in me. So it's like, you need to be...
It's funny you say that, like, I walked off stage with my pro card, and, like, my videographer was like, how do you feel? And I cried, and the first words I said was, it's all fucking worth it. It's all fucking worth it. Like, because a prep is so hard, and when you sacrifice your whole life for a bodybuilding prep, which most people don't do, it makes you feel a very, you know, special kind of way that doesn't compare to anything else in life. And when you finally get the reward for all that, it's a feeling that's just indescribable and nothing compares to it.
Not many people would even be able to comprehend it. Like, so
I don't think many people ever will, because they're never willing to sacrifice everything for one thing, you know? Like to really go after everything, even if it means sacrificing everything else.
Give a damn about what they talking about. I done ranked up, man. All these girls are doing low. We just kept it low. Supermodels in the bando. Is there anywhere that we can go?
I got ice in my drink and
come on, finish him.
Shorty no bank when she see what
And again, one more.
I spent some cash with
Let's
this
go.
feeling. I had no feeling this weekend.
Up.
Myself, I feel weak.
Still you.
I push my own limits and leave. I get up for cheaper 'cause I am the blood to my people. Ice, faces, yo, ghost. I'm faded when I'm MI.
Nigga wanna see me fall. They been focused on the door. I don't really give a damn about what they talking about. I done ranked up, man. All these girls are doing low. Winning, we just kept it low. Supermodels in the bando. Is there anywhere that we can go, man? Nigga wanna see me fall.
Hamstring, glutes, mid back.
Day one.
Yeah. Rest. Pull with side delts. Top up. Rest, lower. Push arms. So hitting more. And then on lower I have extra lats as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so just really focusing on that front, you know, your front shot. So bringing this width, more lat, and then chest for me, strong point.
Yeah.
So I don't really need much more chest. But he's bringing this more cap to the delts, and then more tricep on a front double. And then my waist is pretty small, but it's just getting them lats to really flare out to emphasize that. Yeah. Quads grow quite easily, but hamstrings, glutes, posterior is where RDLs are my fucking arch enemy right now. So it's, again, like I say, it's really, you'll be similar to me, like very tailored to exactly what I need, but I've only got 5-6 pounds, so I need to put that 5-6 pounds in the right spots.
When I was young, I made myself a promise. I said only trust yourself, nobody else is honest. Pay me dollars, not homage, I'm sick of being modest. Ironic, blessings came from something so demonic. I got $1 million in diamonds inside the ultrasonic. Polish, the flow iconic, still I'm so neurotic. I treat my product like narcotics, it's economics.
Come on,
Every
finish it up,
dream
finish
like
it up.
a
This is
fiend,
the
I
one.
wanna try to chronic. Big dipper still tipping out
Again.
my city at night, watching the lights flicker. I'm getting high in the sky villa, my eyes swell up. I'm telling time on the sky dweller. I keep my heart in the wine cellar. I try and tell them. Thoughts of you give my body chills, my only pleasure. I think I know how a diamond feel. I'm under pressure. 30 pounds in a hefty. I hope the Lord bless me. A pimp hand ambidextrous don't make me.
Again, it's always difficult to kind of gauge here, because I'm eating a few.
Estimating, yeah.
Yeah, so they say it's 200 chicken, or 250 chicken, 200 rice. So it's normally like, I'll do 250 chicken, 200 rice, 150 pineapple, and that'll be like 2 more meals, steak meal and rice, and then cream of rice way each side of training, and then eggs for breakfast. So it's about 4-7. But all I'm gonna do is just, you'll be the same as me, just eat the same, check the weight, increase.
Make sure the weight's gone up a little bit, and if it is,
Yeah,
happy days.
Like I don't vary from my plan. I just eat the same meals at the same time every single day. So once that's locked, like I said, once that's locked in, if the weight goes up, great. If the weight doesn't, 25 grams more of cream of rice, and that's why really. Pretty simple.
Yeah, it's not complicated.
No.
It's funny to think like the pros must have like the secrets, like they're keeping the secrets from us.
I think.
The secret is if your weight's not going up, add 25 grams cream rice. There you go.
But the thing is, I think as a pro, what I found is you can control your environment a lot better. So that's the way you level up. It's like making it so your whole day is bodybuilding. Whereas like other people, they don't have that luxury, or when they're amateurs and they're not making money from the sport, they don't have that luxury. So then it's that pulled, you know yourself, like cognitivity, like mind. If you're working in an office, running kids to school, this and this, and then you just go into the gym, you're not going to make the same progress as you are if you're just fully locked in.
I just think this newer generation is not willing to sacrifice much for success. They tell themselves like they want success, they like the idea, they like the product, but they don't like the process.
Do you think it's because everything's instant?
Yeah, instant, and I think the newer generation just feels this new entitlement, you know, and I experienced this firsthand with running business and employing, you know, young 20-year-olds and just seeing the difference in the mindset and how they work compared to like when I was that age or when I'm working with like the older generation. You know, they're just entitled to, they feel entitled to pay rises for nothing, for days off for nothing, for, you know, easier working environment. Like, it's just like, no one of the younger generation wants to fucking work hard anymore.
But you find that I find the same with coaching. 20-year-old kid, I'm going to be pro in 2 years.
Yeah.
Look at anybody.
3 weeks into the program, I'm a little bit bored of sweet potatoes. Well, you're just not fucking cut out for this.
Exactly. But yeah, you look at any like pros, like Hollinsted. I always use Hollinsted, me. I don't know if you know Rob Taylor from back in the UK.
Yeah, I know.
Rob, Josh, 10 years in the game to get a pro. But like, it's a long slog. Yeah. Whereas like these guys are like, if I'm not pro by 2 years, I'm giving up. Like, fuck that.
Vicious, how you still around the same? Got they nose in my business, call it cocaine interest. Heaven, hell, it's the same distance. Cold like the winter solstice that became Christmas. No decor, millions in my floorboards. Money walk, villains line the walls in the corridor. No remorse, before money I've been rich. Whipping till it made my limbs twitch. The zombies came back with the skin itch. Thrill alive, faces like vanilla sky. Almost had to die just to feel alive. They can't feel the size or walk a mile in these Mandela slides. The revolution won't be televised. Nights become days. I made it out of hell unscathed. Might go back one day just to sunbathe. One way, high beams on, doing top speed. Cold world, long as we alive, we are not free.
My vision was to have like kind of the initial impression, like the front of like a football stadium, you know, with the big high front, kind of like entering a castle type deal, like the undefeated stadium. Like you can't see too much about like what goes on in the inside. You just see like the big, kind of like dominating front.
Like that elusive sort of, you can only enter if you're chosen.
Yeah. Like the Coliseum, front of the Coliseum is like, yeah, it looks kind of cool from the outside, but like there's nothing like what's in the inside. Yeah, inside's where the action is.
It's similar to like the UFC, like the place in, you see it on like, do you ever watch Embedded? Yeah. So like when you go to the camp and it's like just a big UFC, you think,
exactly.
Wonder what goes.
Yeah, Performance Institute.
Yeah.
Actually, like I modelled a lot of the recovery from what they have at the PI, because that was where I first saw like these indoor recovery centres, and I was like, this looks at the UFC Performance Institute. Which one? One in Vegas and the one in Beijing. They both have indoor, and I looked at them. I was like, this is sick. Like, it's cleaner, you can temperature control it much better. There's less distractions, so you can stay locked in. And I was just thinking, like, the Bali vibe is like the opposite when it comes to recovery. It's like outdoor, like in the tropics, you know, the harder temperature control because you're dealing with the ambient temperature. The rainy seasons are a massive problem. The changes in humidity are a massive problem. And it's just like, you're not locked in. It's much more about like the sit, watch the sunset, get a tan. And I was like, that's not really aligned with like being an elite athlete to me. It's like, I want it all inclusive, like the ideal environment for where an athlete might want to be for 6 hours of his day, you know, where he can come and eat, get his nutrition done right, get his training done right, get his recovery done right. You like tick all the boxes in one.
Got grind 2 4s every day of the week, that's the reason I'm struggling staying asleep. And I love when I'm taking wins, but I feel like shit when I lose my streak. Got me into the gang and family eats, the reason I'm chasing them.
So with yours, I know you pretty much dead stop everything.
I've been trying to, like you know how when you're training in a prep, kind of, I know at least for me, like the ego and the like, fuck you, I'm gonna prove you wrong, sometimes like gets to you a little bit, and then, you know, the form starts to slide a little bit, and you just kind of just crank, kind of just let sort of the strategy and the logical thought out the window, and it just becomes like, I'm gonna work harder than fucking everyone, you know? And that was sort of my mentality that kind of just evolved in the back end of the prep. Was like, I just want to know that I've worked harder than everyone. Yeah, I just want to know that I've worked harder than everyone. So when I finished the prep, you know, you get some food in you, you get some drugs out of you, you can think a little bit more clearly. I just decided I'm gonna like reset my training by going like super slow, like cop some load drops, and just reset everything. So I'm just in the phase of just like resetting my training and making sure, you know, there's no momentum, no ego lifting, and then the plan is like over the 16 weeks just to like slowly build it up.
I noticed that as well, like speaking to Cuba, John Jewett, all these other people, it's like my old mentality was like every set to absolute death. But like, I don't know if you ever done DC training, did you ever do that?
Yeah.
So like every set was to rest pause, and like I made the least progress. Like I literally battered myself into a hole rather than being smart.
I think I trained probably way too hard at the back end of the prep, but it became just a Kobe thing of just like getting there knowing that I absolutely like smoked myself every session.
Yeah,
And that's still something I need to work on, because logically I know it's not the best way, but there's just that like fuck you dog inside me that just for some reason needs to know that I'm working harder than the next guy.
or even harder than we did before.
Yeah, and like there's just something about the really slow tactical reps that just eats away at me, leaving like I'm maybe leaving something on the table, you know, and the whole like, you know, sets of RAR2 or something like that, leaving a couple reps in the tank. I finish my set and it's just like a parasite nipping at my heels, like you could have done more, you know, and there's still something I'm grappling with, but at least now, you know, when I'm, you know, not prep crazy and I'm in a good space like physically, hormonally, mentally, just use this time to be smart and work on not letting the ego get in the way.
When I'm taking wins, but I fall like shit when I lose my streak. Gotta mention the gang and family eats the reason I'm chasing a meal, no meek. I ain't never been affiliated, but I got bro like he got me. Got grand 2 4s every day of the week, that's the reason I'm struggling, staying asleep. And I love when I'm taking wins, but I fall like shit when I lose my streak. Gotta mention the gang and family eats the reason I'm chasing a meal, no meek. I ain't never been affiliated, but I got bro like he got me.
Okay.
Good set, bro. Where did the undefeated come from?
In 2022, I got like really badly sick, and I had a really bad infection that I got here. It was COVID time, so I couldn't fly back home to have surgery, and I had to have surgery here, and they completely botched it, and I was basically left with like my back hanging open. And I mean, I had, in that year, I had to have 6 surgeries. Surgery from a plastic surgeon that went from 3 months to skin graft me and put my back together. And it was 12 months of no training, 0. A lot of it was like, because I was out in Bali, I didn't know anyone, I didn't have friends, I didn't have family, and COVID was on, so no one could travel. So I couldn't get home, had no one to talk to, and I had these like big gaping wounds all over my body, so I couldn't really leave the house because I'd go outside, I'd sweat, I had no one to change my bandages, I couldn't shower because I had no one to like dry them for me or clean me up. Like, it was just like probably the worst year like I could have ever possibly imagined, and I feel bad saying that because, you know, I know people are starving in Africa and bombs are landing on houses in Syria and stuff like that. But for me, and like what I'd ever, like any adversity that I had faced up to then was really just nothing, you know, and it felt like my whole life really fell apart over that 12 months. And I had these like dreams for doing business and growing social media and becoming a bodybuilder, and it all just went to ground zero. And I had so many problems with the doctors and the surgeries and my health that I really didn't know if like it was ever going to get solved. And there was one day where, this is when I started journaling, just to like try to keep myself from basically necking myself because I was so depressed. I just write each day like stay undefeated, stay undefeated, stay undefeated. And then, you know, when things started to finally like turn up after a year, I just always had that in my mind, like don't ever be defeated, like always come back. And then that's what's brought us here. That's why it's undefeated.
You find that as well, like when everything is taken away, you find out like who you really are.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't know who I was. Yeah. That whole experience introduced me to who I was. And in a weird, very strange irony, I'm so glad that it happened, because it really was like pulling me out of the matrix. And you know, for the first time in my life, like I had self-awareness. I felt like I knew myself. I felt like I was aware of my weaknesses and my problems, and like I became aware of like things I wanted to fix in myself and how I wanted to be a better man and how I wanted to live my life. So if I didn't have that, like, you know, being kicked in the teeth and having everything taken away, I probably wouldn't have ever had the chance to like figure those things out about myself, and I wouldn't have any of the things that we see here.
The thing that you've got to go through it, and no one really sees it, but then everybody who's at the top of the game has normally had that. And it's like you either sink or swim, and people who are successful will swim and find a way and be undefeated, or some people will just let it crumble them. I think that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, I still, like, the more I learn about success, and the more like I read about successful people, the more like I'm just certain that the biggest advantage in, you know, the pathway to success or doing, like, achieving big shit is just your ability to endure and deal with really shit, miserable periods of time.
And
you know?
nervous.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You know, like, can you survive those periods without pulling the ejector seat, you know, and going to a vice, whether that's, you know, drugs or sex or, you know, video games? Like, can you sit with it and endure it rather than running from it?
A lot of people, same with COVID, like COVID exposed a lot of people because they never had that time on their own. So it's like they never had to sit on their own. They was always busy, like procrastinating, distraction, and actually have to sit with your own thoughts. Then you realize, no.
Conversations, man.
No, they don't.
They don't like those conversations.
4 shanks on a bus at the festival, my nigga that, that's respectable. Now he's just trapped up in Pentonville, and he just had a baby, it's crazy. You don't know what it gets like, most of my niggas in jail, while I'm living my best life. Been through the hell, bro, you know what my head's like, so many cells.
But that's what, like, when we see a lot of people, Kobe, Achilles tendon, Bumstead, there's autoimmune, it's like everybody's had it.
Yeah. You need that dark time alone with yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants it, and when it's given to you, you know, in the time, you do nothing more than to give it away. But really, in hindsight, once you've got through it, I'm so glad it happened to me. During that time, I'd stumbled across a quote from Picasso, and he said, "Without solitude, no great work is possible." And that just like hit me so fucking hard, because like, I think most people are just living a life of distraction. You know, they wake up, maybe they put a podcast on, then they talk to their girlfriend, then they go to work, talk to the people in the office, then they go to the gym, talk to people in the gym, then they come back, chat to people on social media, then they like watch a Netflix thing, then they talk to their girlfriend before bed, and then they go to sleep. It's like, you had no time in your fucking day where you've actually been alone with your thoughts to figure out what you think. Like, people think like podcasts are this great thing. It's like, they're one of the worst things for self-awareness, because you're just absorbing the thoughts of others. You're not actually giving yourself a chance to discover what you think and who you are, you know. And I think it's such a, like, it's like that chain on the ankle, you know, it just slows down your progress.
Yeah, it's like you said before, like, when you do sit there, journal, and you put your thoughts down, and then you reflect on the thoughts, and then it sinks into your head, it's actually your own, like, analytics of it, rather than, like you say, somebody else's like thoughts. You're projecting somebody else's. Like, I always say to them, "Why do you think that?" And not most of the time they can't answer why they think something. Like, "Oh, well, because well," and it's like, it's not your thoughts. Yeah, so like, you're from a side profile, but then it's like this back, you know, like here, mid back. Yeah. If that matches from a side profile, yeah, that's where it's like. So I need just this fucking...
Yeah, I need a lot more around here as well.
On the thickness. Yeah. So like on a side chest and a side tricep, like my side shots are bubbly, but then it's as soon as that back double.
Yeah, okay. My main pose is sort of like here, so I need a lot more here
to bring this here
up. Yeah,
it's just to fill that upper line out. These insertions here and then your tricep, they're really, really good. And like you say, because these are so strong, just that little bit more. You're like complete opposite to me. Yeah. Chest is so strong, but I need more delt.
Yeah.
Fucking irritating.
Give me some of your...
It's like top trumps of body parts. Can I just trade that bit of your body for my one?
22 with a 2.2, just came back from a long hiatus. She came, that came from the clip. No shit, I don't need vibrators. You get hit with a stick, Black Panther, you're gonna need vibranium. I got stainless steel, I got platinum, I got gold and I got titanium. I got gold and I got titanium, I got white gold and it came in proper. Go find you a burner and offer. How you got gold and you ain't got copper? Dosser. Tyson Fury in a party, I make shoulders fling. Klitsch go in the ring, cause he just got a box in the Gypsy King. Jeez. Same old story, you can get soaked or soaked in glory. I got a house in the sticks, it's awkward. I know that my neighbours are voting Tory, surely. Fredo's my brother, we're locked in for life. I told bro to drop me some game, my American things, they're too impolite. Right, everybody made them a mill, let's play a game of who still got one. I'm on Rowan Road in my ninja, knock down ginger, let's see who spots one. Fuck. If you wanna run up on me, just do it. I got 99 problems, going broke in one, but a bitch is two of them. 22
Let's go.
with a 2.2, just came back
This
from
is the
a
one.
vacation.
This is the one. You.
By the time that
Still
I'm
you.
done, that's a
Still you.
2.1. I got red bones and I got Asians. I got chocolate and I got cravings. I just fly the things in Turks and that shit works cause they put the cakes in. If it weren't me on paddles, I got saddled, sat on handles. My shooter stayed in touch, it came in clutch cause I don't do manuals. You got dope and you got hope, no, I see it from a different angle. That bitch with her hair on rope, Olivia Pope, it's one big scandal. 22 with a 2.2, just came back from a long hiatus. She came, that came from the clip, no shit, I don't need vibrators. You get hit with a stick, Black Panther, you're gonna need vibranium. I got stainless steel, I got platinum, I got gold and I got titanium.
That hits proper, isn't it? It's so much nicer than doing a school crusher, isn't it?
We get wavy, smashed, sun comes out, splash. She likes my style, it flash. On the vibe, I'm running the gas. We don't take it slow, full speed till we crash. I took the price of the tab. Hello, mate. You wanna levitate? Come see the man with a plan. We get wavy, smashed, sun comes out, splash. She likes my style, it flash. On the vibe, I'm running the gas. We don't take it slow, full speed till we crash. I took the price of the tab. Hello, mate. You wanna levitate? Come see the man with a plan, baby. If you'd like to spend the night, it's alright, but you gotta check out in the morning. I ain't gonna be there snoring. I'm a slow and I'll keep on snoring. I get good girls moving appalling. Bad girls and I still put it all in. Posh girls, but they don't move boring. Trap girls don't call ID calling.
I looked much better, and that's why I got the first call out to Taiwan. And to be honest, I should have been fifth, but they gave that sixth spot to Taiwan Home Pro. But I called out a fifth, which I'm content with. Like only winning my pro card 2 months before, but this season has to be about like being a top five like comfortably. Yeah.
We get wavy, smashed, sun comes out, splash. She likes my style, it flash. On the vibe, I'm running the gas. We don't take it slow, full speed till we crash. I took the price of the tab. Hello, mate. You wanna levitate? Come see the man with a plan. We get wavy, smashed, sun comes out, splash.
It's a wrap, man.
Thanks for that, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh. Survived the fire pit.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Basically, this is what, like, to be fair, when it's hot in the UK, this is what the gym's like.
Yeah.
So we have like.
It's probably not worth them investing in like.
Heaps of ACs or anything, is it?
We don't have AC, so we just have a big fuck off fan. But then it's like just cold, like blows hot air.
Yeah.
There's a weird like, I mean it sucks in the minute, but afterwards there's a weird like euphoric feeling of just like having your clothes soaked, feeling like a mess, just knowing that you're thrown down.
I had one of the Australian kids was like, so like you guys always train with like hoods up and like, is it for like hardcore? I was like, no, it's just fucking freezing. like they say you got bob hats on and hoods up. I'm like, is that like Dorian Yates style? I was like, no, it's just cold as fuck.
The Australians, man, we don't know nothing. We're soft. We're soft, bro. Temperature's just in the middle, like no extremes.
Hey, feeling young, but they treat me like the OG. And they want the T on me, I swear these bitches nosy. Said he put some money on my head, I guess we gon' see. I won't put no money on his head, my niggas owe me. I gotta be single for a while. You can't.
I hear people where they say like, oh, I had a really productive day. I'm like, oh, what did you do? I went in the grocery store, I got my groceries, did my meal prep, like I went and did my laundry, I spring cleaned my house, and then like, and I trained. It was like a very productive day. I'm like, it doesn't sound like that to me. It sounds like a big fucking waste of a day, to be honest, you know, because what's the ROI on that 8 hours that you just spent? So like me being in Bali, I'm thinking, okay, I want my day to be as efficient as possible. So I'd rather spend $40 for someone to do my laundry. I'd rather spend $100 for someone to have my meal prep, and with zero cleaning, zero grocery visits, zero meal prep, zero mess, I'd rather pay someone $50 to clean my house. And then those 8 hours I will use on activities that are going to provide a return on my time investment. And it's like, that's how you make big moves. Like people say, like, how do you do so much in 1 year, 2 years? It's like, because I'm not burning days doing laundry and meal prep and grocery store visits.
That's the thing as well, is like I have it all the time back home. Like it's a little bit more expensive to get laundry done back home. But the thing for me is like, I can make so much more money in that time and pay somebody to do that thing that I don't like doing, and literally then push myself forward to doing more. So it's like, it's just a massive, and here, when you're paying £5 for laundry, you're like, oh, okay, I can do so much more in that hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's just efficient.
Yeah, and I mean, I got a little bit of hate when I was a little bit vocal about trying to encourage people to like outsource their meal prep and not spend money doing things. It's like, they're like, oh, it's easy for you to get a restaurant. I'm like, okay, go fucking open a restaurant and see how easy that is. Like, I can promise you that it's not as easy as whatever
meal prep.
Yeah, as meal prep.
But the reason is as well though is because the reason you've got the restaurant is because you've got that mindset. So you'll have it same in business where it's like, I write every job within my business and then like, how much does that cost? And then I'm like, I'm only doing the things that bring me the biggest return, and then I'll pay the other guys to delegate that job, because we've only got so much time in the day.
Yeah.
So
it's like people forget, it's like I was still paying for meal prep from other vendors before I had Pump, but I was like continuing to spend more and more on vendors. It's like, again, how can I make this more efficient? Well, maybe I'll buy the restaurant. You know, like maybe I'll go a step further. And it's like, it's all about just making moves that can make better ROI on every minute that you're awake. You know, that's my whole approach.
And I think what we were saying before with the blind faith and also the optimism, a lot of people don't have that optimism. So it's like, well, I'll just do my own laundry and I'll just do my own meal prep. It's easier. I'm like, it's easier now in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to be the reason that you don't make progress.
It's like that. It's that little crack in the windshield, those sort of activities. It's like on one day, like you don't notice how much time it's sucking up, but it just fucking compounds, and then, you know, years go by where people just live in the same fucking 6 months on repeat with nothing to show for it. And I remember like when I was in Australia, just like the trap of you get to the end of a new year and you catch up with these people around the New Year's time, like how was your year, man? Like, and you're like, oh yeah, like same old, like, oh, it's the worst fucking answer ever.
You know what? You know how it is? No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how it is. And then I remember when I go home and they'll be like, "You're living the dream," and I'm like, "It's just you can do this as well."
I know.
Like,
I think like.
Thank you so much.
I think when someone says like,
"Thank you,"
how was a year, or what do you have to show for it?
Thank you.
Like
you'll start.
if you don't have a good answer, like a CV, I treat each year like a CV. It's like, you know, with your CV or your resume, you have like all of your achievements or your milestones for the year. And or for your life, I should say, when you're trying to get a job. Like I approach each year when I get to the end of it being like, what things do I have to write on my CV? If your CV is fucking blank, and it just says, work the same job as I did last year, it's like, you probably need to make some changes.
For me, it's about like, what impact did I have? Like, what did I bring for myself? Like, obviously, how did I provide for my family? And then that's like the biggest driving factor for me on everything. And some people are like, oh yeah, I just went on holiday once a year.
I mean, fair play. If that's your definition of success and you're happy with it, fair play. Like, go do that thing, but don't complain when you see like other people doing bigger things than you, or having better things that you want, or complaining about your position or your status. Like, you have no right to complain about that.
I think the issue is for me, it's very much like, I don't tell anyone what they should be doing, but everybody seems to tell me what I should be doing. And I'm like, I'm good with my life. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And if I don't expect you to agree with it because you've not got the same mindset as me. But I'm not saying to you, quit your job and do this and do that. But they'll say to you, what are you doing? Like, you're chasing this dream of bodybuilding and it's never going to go anywhere. I'm like, you said that at the start of it. Like, and now you're living the dream.
Yeah, they all laugh at your little business until it's a fucking empire. Yeah, and then they're paying to get in the door or paying to eat your meals. And
the thing is as well, like, then claim that they know you.
Yeah.
They're like your best friend. Oh yeah, he's my cousin.
I was
It's
a
like,
day one. I had his back at the start. No, you fucking did. You're trying to talk me out of it.
I had it with. I don't know if you had this with bodybuilding, but I remember a bodybuilder called Tony Freeman.
Yeah.
Old guy. I trained with him, and he was like, he basically started off. He was like, he wouldn't win a show. Then he wouldn't win a national show. Then he wouldn't win a pro card. And then he wouldn't get to Olympia. And then his legs are too small. And then he was like, and then now they're just saying I'm too fucking old. He's like, it's got to a point now where I can't change my age.
Yeah.
He was like, so they'll, no matter how far you climb,
They won't stop.
They won't stop.
Yeah, they won't stop. There'll always be chatter.
Yeah.
But that chatter is always coming from the back of the stadium, coming from the bleachers, you know, coming from the irrelevant people that, you know, are paying for general admission.
And just sitting on the sideline of life.
Exactly.
It's easy to criticise, and just like I was watching UFC and saying, oh, I could knock him out.
Yeah.
You for real, get in.
Yeah.
Get in the game.
Fucking club up, man.
Yeah, but which is really nice, by the way.